Welcome to another vlog. I'm actually remembering to do an intro to the vlog on the day that I'm starting it. Today is February 16th? 16th. And there's a storm has rolled into Southern California. It's gonna rain for like the next week and the next week after that. And I hate it so much. I hate it so much. I am a lizard. I need warmth and sun, and it is very cold. And I hate it. I don't know if I can say that enough. I hate it. Anyways, I'm editing last vlog you would have seen for the first half of February. We're doing the second half of February. I'm gonna kick it off with two things I've read since I finished that vlog, or finished. So the first thing I finished after that vlog was Lullaby of the Dawn by I don't have my notes with me. I think it's by Ichika Yuno. This is a boys love manga, a fantasy manga. Essentially this takes place in like this land where a young boy, I think like teenager-ish, I think he's like 13 when he starts. He has like this, he's chosen by the spirit of like I think it's some kind of spirit that like kind of like picks chosen ones, and they have to spend their entire lives every night fighting like these weird creepy like demon things that come out of the sea, and they have like a mark on them to indicate that that's what their job is. And our main character, he also like he has black like spreading from his hands and his feet, and the villagers of the village he's protecting, they're all terrified of him, except one day a young boy from the village, I think his family is tasked with taking food to the guy, and so he goes and he actually accidentally meets him, and he kind of worms his way into his life, and he kind of forces himself to being his friend. And then we do a big time jump, which I think is needed, especially if this is going to be a romance. So we do a big time jump, and the boy is now like 18. He's been kind of half living with the protector for this whole time, and he's grown very tall and strong. I think the protector kind of like his own growth has been stunted, so he kind of hasn't grown as much, but they're on more of a more even level, I would guess. And the protector has like the black on his hands have faded a little bit, and they're very close, and it's kind of obvious that they're in love with each other, but this first volume is them like kind of admitting that and realizing it. So far, for an opening volume, this is very interesting in terms of the fantasy, the world, the kind of like these protectors and the mystery of what's going on with the sea, and especially their relationship together is very cute. Like I said, it does start out in the weird nebulous, like one of the characters was like a young child when that started, but I don't see it as like a grooming situation. I just kind of see it as like he kind of like forces his way into his life and forces his way into taking care of this guy, and eventually over time as they grew, they just kind of grew closer. I really like it so far. So I don't know if there's a lot of volumes. From what I could tell on Libby, there were 4 volumes available. So I already have volume 2 borrowed, and I'm gonna catch up to all 4 volumes. I really like it. So yeah, this is really, and it's drawn pretty. The art is pretty decent. I like the art. I do like how like the protector, and he's always drawn like very beautifully. Happy surprise. I like this one. I give it 4 stars. I will definitely be continuing on with the series. Then I read She Wolf and Cub by Lilith Saintcrow. This is going to fit for my parent protagonist square for r/fantasy. See, I am making progress with this. Bingo. I have fingers crossed I could do this by the end of March. This is apparently a cyberpunk western, and it is about this woman character who is she's basically like half cyborg. She has been changed. She has, you know, nanoparticles in her, and they live in like this enclosed city because the outside is a desolate wasteland, etc. And then she's given a job where she's basically an assassin. She's given a job where she has to take out a young child, but when she sees the child, something in her doesn't want to kill him, and there's something strange about him. So instead she takes him, and they escape outside of the city into the wastelands, and they have to survive from there. And we learn more about the boy's strangeness and lots and lots of action as they are being chased down by various people. If you have been interested in this at all, if it sounds interesting to you, read the sample on Kindle if you have it, or wherever you can read a sample, because it's this very particular writing style, because it is I think it is first person. This writing style didn't do it for me. First of all, okay, look, I know it's like cyberpunk dystopian, or cyberpunk like dystopian Western. You're creating this whole world, your world building, but I just could not stand the use of the word warm body as one word, warm body, for anything human, fleshy human. Whoa, it was used a lot. It was used a lot to refer to like flesh. And I just, after a while, it was like nails on a chalkboard every time I had to read that word. There's so much here for how little there was. There's so much narrative and thinking and introspection and action. I like action. I love action books, but there was so much fucking action that it just kind of overtook it, where I think the author really wanted to have this badass character who was fucking fantastic at fighting and could always fight her way out of anything. But it was just to the detriment of the story. And there was like this emotional core to the story of the relationship between the woman and the child. But that also felt kind of put first on, because everybody asks her like, what is going on here? Like, why this child? Why? And she can't answer it herself. They just kind of have a connection, and they just happen to grow as they move along until eventually they see each other as mother and son. And why? I still don't know why. Yeah, so, and when I gave this 2 stars, and I haven't written a review yet, but someone commented on my quick 2-star post about how Lilith Saintcrow is like so many great ideas, but the execution is always off. And I've never read Lilith Saintcrow before, so that doesn't give me hope for any of her. Like, I've been interested eventually in trying out some of her classic paranormal romances, but if this is classic of her, then I'm not sure about it. But that basically was what this was. There's some good ideas here, but the execution was just poor. So it was 2 stars for me. And I definitely, if this interested you in any way, look up a reading sample, because the writing style is going to be exactly what it is the whole way through. 4-star and a 2-star, not the most terrible kickoff for the start of this vlog. Let's do a book haul. So I have a couple of things. First, I have been collecting Yona of the Dawn. Every time I see a new volume I don't own pop up on Pango Books, I try to grab it. So this is 31. There's Yona. So very slowly collecting all of that. I have my Aardvark box for February. Yeah, it's pretty late in the month. Yeah, it's been sitting in our mailbox for a while. When I went to check the mail today, it was a lot. Okay, so, oh yeah, I completely forgot what I ordered for fucking Aardvark, because it's like mid-February. Anyway, this is Superfan by Tinghui Zhang. Freshman Minnie is adrift at college in Austin, Texas, when she discovers a boy band called Hourglass and the online forums that worship them. Of the Hourglass members, she especially loves Hollow, whose sharp edges feel somehow familiar. After a brief romance goes painfully awry, Minnie pours everything into new fandom, clinging to each live stream and bonding with other fans online. But when a scandal threatens to expose Hollow to harm, Minnie decides she is the only one who can save him. So that is why I grabbed this one. It feels K-pop adjacent, very fandom heavy. I've been in fandom my entire life. I would say yes, I have had a parasocial NSYNC. I was a young teenager in love with Lance Bass. Let's just say that. So Superfan is what I picked for February's Aardvark box. Then one of the libraries I go to, they have like a lot of used books, like their shelves that they always have open in the vestibule of the library. Everything there is like 25 cents. So I've been finding a lot of like old classic paranormal fantasy, paranormal romance, urban fantasy stuff. So I've been stocking up in old mass markets. I don't actually remember what all of these are, so I'm just gonna give you the names and titles. So first I have The Devil Inside by Jenna Black. Look, oh, why were those skin tight pants with the like, why was that such a thing for urban fantasy covers? Why? Night Veil by Yasmin Galenorn. Night Veil by Yasmin Galenorn. And Halfway to the Grave by Jeaniene Frost. This I am very aware of. I cannot remember if I have read this, but I had to grab it. I'm going to read it. And then I have Fury's Kiss by Caron Chance. So another one with the butt in the, yeah, you know, it was a whole thing. I found a copy of Neuromancer by William Gibson. I don't know what version this is. I don't know what edition this is, but I figured eventually I want to read Neuromancer, so I got a copy. Then I somehow found 2 Sarah Waters novels. I really, really like Sarah Waters. I love, what is it called? Fingersmith. Duh, it's on the cover here. I love Fingersmith. I love it a lot. I also loved Tipping the Velvet when I read it a lot. So I was very happy to find and get this copy. And then also Affinity, which by her, I can't remember if I've read Affinity. I don't think I've read Affinity, so I'll be very excited to read this. But I do want to do like a Sarah Waters reread, especially of Tipping the Velvet and Fingersmith at a minimum. So I really, really like Sarah Waters. And those are 2 that I found, 25 cents each. Quick crochet update. It's gonna be real awkward because I have the yarn attached to everything, but okay. So first, I've been working on a blanket for a friend's toddler. So this is the size of it now. It's kind of hard to see. I would say from tip to tip, it is from the top of my head to about my knees. So that is a really good size. I'm probably gonna add a few more rows with the size that this is right now. Each row is like it's like an endurance sport at this point, completing a row. But I wanted this done before we go visit them, I think about 2 weeks. So very happy that this is almost done. And I just love this. I'm not doing any color changes. This is the yarn itself. That is a color changing yarn. So it's doing all of it, and it's just kind of like, it's just come together really, really nicely. So that's this blanket. Then I had another yarn that I bought, and I've just been vaguely working on a new cardigan with it. So here it is. This is what I've worked up so far. So this is similar to my other cardigan that I finished first. This is the first half of it. And this yarn is also color changing, but this is like so many colors. So it's ridiculous how many amazing colors are in here. Like, it's just gorgeous, gorgeous. I love it so much. This is the first. I think I have it where I want it for the sleeve. So from here, I'm just going to continue extending the body and extend the sleeve separately while decreasing. All technical stuff you don't care about, but that is that. That's just the first half. This one I am kind of working in between the other 2 projects, so I'm not like focusing a lot on this just right now. Okay, and finally the one there's also close to finishing. This is a sweater. This is one made top down and no seaming or anything like that. So here is the neck ribbing. Here is the rest of the sweater. So it is again, I don't know if you noticed, but I love my color changing yarns at this point. So it's just really, really cute. And I am currently working on this sleeve. The sleeve's really big. I just like, I don't know. I'm questioning the sleeve at the moment. I really just started on the sleeve tonight while I was watching stuff, and I need to really think about the sleeve. But yeah, so that's another fun sweater I'm working on. This yarn is also very, very soft and squishy, and I love working with it a lot. If you're interested, I will put patterns for each of these and the yarns I'm using for each of these in the description. That is my update for today. Okay, hi. I don't know what this angle is going to be or how it's going to sound. I am working on my crochet, as I hope the B-roll works out. So I am working on this blanket. So I thought I would give a quick update on what I'm reading since the last clip I updated you on, and I have been reading A Fatal Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum by, I think it's Emma Southern. And this is a nonfiction history book. And so if the title sounds familiar to you, it is a pun. The original, I think it's either a play or some kind of comedy, and it's called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. I haven't watched it or experienced it, but I know the title just from cultural osmosis. So A Fatal Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum is pretty funny, and I really like this cover. I picked this up because I think it was Ashley. Ashley read it and enjoyed it, and the way she talked about it made me think that I would enjoy the comedy as well. This is essentially a book about murder in the Roman Empire and Roman history, different types of murder, and you go everything from murder of enslaved people to murder of emperors to murder by poison to patricide, or the other word for family murder and stuff like that. It's very interesting, and I do want to say, so there is an element of humor to this, but it's not like, I guess Emma Southern is trying to be humorous on purpose. But I want to say, I kept thinking about this while I was reading it. I want to say this is like drunk history with more historical rigor and minus the inebriation, if that gives you an idea of what the humor is like. So, and I think that kind of humor is not going to work for everyone, but as a millennial, it is just silly enough to work for me. And it's just funny enough to break up the kind of, as interesting as this topic is, it can be a little monotonous. So it's enough to keep things, interesting for my brain and a little entertaining while I learn about all the various types of murder that happened in Rome and how Romans culturally thought about murder and different types of murder. The one thing I've taken away from this so far is like, yeah, I knew the Romans had slaves, but Emma Southern lays it out in a way where I had never really truly conceptualized of just how not only prevalent slavery was in Rome, but how many people were enslaved. Like, that's crazy. Also, obviously, she often has moments where she pokes fun at the Romans for, not giving a shit about women. So it's just, I enjoy it a lot. I've been listening to on audio, all the stuff I did in my last vlog. I did a lot of driving that one long weekend, so I listened to it a lot on my drives, and I'm very close to the end. I'm probably going to finish it on my commute, either there to work and back tomorrow, if not only just in the morning. So depending on how crazy long the commute is tomorrow morning. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I like I said, I love this cover. The humor is doing it for me, and I am very happy to be continuing reading nonfiction this year. I don't know what I'm gonna go for next. Actually, okay, I do know what I'm gonna go for next. I do have a couple of things queued up on Libby. Let me see what I've got actually. I don't have anything actually out yet, but for my holds for nonfiction, okay, what I'm very interested in reading next is called We Refuse, A Forceful History of Black Resistance by Kelly Carter Jackson. And I have the audiobook on hold in my library, read by the author. This is a forceful history of Black resistance, but in We Refuse, Kelly Carter Jackson urges us to move past the false choice of Dr. Martin Luther King on one end with nonviolence and Malcolm X, you know, any means necessary on the other end. To move past it, offering an unflinching examination of the breadth of Black responses to white oppression, particularly those pioneered by Black women. I am very interested in this, and I fucking love this cover. I'm so upset that the audiobook cover is not this cover, but this cover is incredible. And if I enjoy this, I may buy a physical copy of it just to have this cover in my library. I love it a lot. So that is what I have on hold in my library. I don't have any other nonfiction on hold at the moment. I did that thing where I put a bunch of stuff on hold at the library and then they all just start coming in all at the same time. So I have 1, 2, 3, I have 4 different audiobooks that I have borrowed from the library. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. That was my update. Working on my crochet. Actually, I need to go to bed probably in about 20 to 30 minutes because I need to get up at the ass crack of butt dawn tomorrow morning to go to work. So I am just going to crochet for the next another, 20 minutes while listening to YouTube videos. That's it for this update. Quick update. I have read since the last update. I finished A Fatal Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. 4 stars. Entertaining. I can't remember if I said it last time, but my entire Goodreads review is basically this is drunk history without the inebriation and more academic rigor, I guess. My millennial humor brain liked it. Good fun. I'm definitely going to check out some more of Emma Southern's stuff. I think she has one coming out in May that is about women in ancient Rome, or no, how slavery was the backbone of ancient Rome, which is really timely, especially because like I said, that was the one thing I'm taking the most away out of this. So after that, I read The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter Volume 6, and oh my god, I just found out like literally 2 days ago that there's an anime. How did I miss this? Entirely missed it. There's an anime, there's a bunch of episodes on Crunchyroll, and I'm going to fucking binge it. I am so fucking excited. Anyways, this is volume 6 of the manga. There's not a lot to say. I love this series so much. This is a good volume. A lot is happening in this volume in terms of like whatever the mystery of like the religion in this world is, whatever's going on there. Something happens to Kondo, and he gets really magic sick, and of course Arash comes to his rescue, although there's for a moment there it seemed like maybe there's going to be like maybe another love interest, but I think it comes out to be like it's not really a love interest so much as like a foil, somebody who may be a block in between Arash and Kondo. But I love them. They're idiots. I love them so much. I love Arash's household, how they come to like really adore Kondo, and I just love this. And the art is so good all the time. Like every time I do this, the art is so good. Okay, I'm trying not to show any spoilers, but look how good that is. And it's not anything sexual. He is like, he just has a moment where he's like, oh, my chest hurts. What could it be? It's like, you're in fucking love, you dummy. I love them so much. Volume 6, The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, done and read. It's going there. What else do I have? Possible TBR. I have this very short book. I have already had to renew it once. This is Hunchback by Sao Ichikawa. This was Booker Prize, either long list or short list, last year or the year before. My coworkers read it, said it's a wild ride. I am very much looking forward to this. It's short and sweet, so I will be reading this very soon. What else? Oh, crochet update. I finished another sweater. So I'm not wearing it because, so this is the sweater. It's a pullover with a variegated yarn, so color changing yarn. I'm not wearing it because I did wear it out this morning, but as I was wearing it, I realized that I crocheted each cuff with a different hook size. So one cuff is much tighter than the other, but I like the looser cuff. So I need to undo this cuff and redo it with the larger crochet hook because this is much stretchier than this one. I don't know if you can see the size difference between the two of them. Yeah, so one is smaller than the other, so I just need to fix that. And then this will be done. And I liked this pattern so much, I have literally already started another sweater. A whole story for that, but we'll get to that. And then I finished this star blanket. It's very hard to hold up, so I'm gonna pop a picture up, but like, This is a all cotton yarn blanket, also color changing yarn. I love the way it came out. It just happened to come out really great. So I'm very glad that I got this done before our trip to give it to the person we're going to. 2 pieces are finished. Start another sweater. I am getting the itch to start yet another sweater, and then I start another blanket. I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot. Hello, it is Sunday morning. Try not to look like a creeper in a parking lot. I am going to get another tattoo. The artist that did my rose is actually doing a flash at, or not a flash, a pop-up at my local bookstore, which is for like serendipitous. So I am fortifying myself with the greasiest, sugariest things to just dump a bunch of sugar in my bloodstream so the pain and stuff doesn't like make me go crazy. I'm going to take Tylenol, and then I'll be there in 20 minutes. So I don't know that I'll take any video like of the tattooing process because I need to be in a zen place to like get through it. But yeah, we'll see what bookish tattoo I get. Very quick because the windows are closed and it's hot. Tattoo! You can't really see it at this angle, it's so bad, but I just wanted a first glimpse of the tattoo. It's upside down. Yeah, clip later. There's my other tattoo. Okay, so I'm gonna try to turn a little bit. There it is. My camera's a little high, so I can't really turn it, but it's a book. I'll put a picture up so you can see it, but it's the same artist who did this one. So 8 days apart, essentially, are these 2 tattoos. I really, really like her. I like her a lot. So gonna go back to her March 13th for her next Friday the 13th. So that was today. I spent a lot of time waiting at the pop-up for it, and during that I continued to sweater and crocheting, and then I also read today. I read Hunchback by Ichika. I have no idea how to feel about this book at all. So I think this was nominated for the Booker International Prize, long list, short list, and that's how it came onto my radar. So this is a story of a disabled woman who grew up with a disease that she has like a curvature in her spine. her muscles, you know, when they atrophy, they don't grow back. She has like a trachea implant for her breathing. She has a very active sexual imagination. She writes like stories about sex online, and she has a Twitter account where she kind of just puts tweets out into the universe. This deals a lot with themes of personhood. The main character is exploring that personhood through sex, essentially. She tweets something that leads to an encounter, and then the book ends. And the book ends in such a way that completely like shifted how I thought about the entire book, and I'm not sure what the fuck this was by the end. I was ready to take everything at face value. It is very explicit and very, like I said, it's very raw, but it ended and I was like, I don't know what the intention was here anymore. Like, I thought I knew what the intention was, but then the ending completely shifted things, and maybe it just kind of intensifies the theme that's going on in this book, but I'm not sure. I think I just put in my Goodreads review, I was like, huh? So, I think it's worth a read to just get a sense of what's going on here. I think it's a very interesting read and the author themselves has the disability that the main character does. And so it's very interesting to read about, you know, disabled people are people too. Like, you would think that's such a default concept, but it's not. And it's interesting that the author has chosen to use such explicit raw sex as a way to investigate this theme of personhood within disability. So, interesting. Still not sure how I feel about that ending. I'm gonna have to go read, you know, a bunch of reviews and think pieces about it. But yeah. Oh yeah, wow, just hit my glasses. I don't regret reading it, but I'm still very confused. Anyways, that has been my Sunday. I don't know how much else I'm going to get through for the rest of the week, so we will see. Very, very brief update. So this is, I'm calling it my tricolor dango sweater. Tricolor dango is a sweet treat in Japan. So I was at the yarn store with my friends. I pulled up this pink because I really liked it. And then this green was near it. And I liked how they went together. And my friend who was with me looking at the yarn, we were looking at, like, you know, other colors that could go with it. And she pulled this white next to both of them. And we were like, ooh, those go together. And our other friend walks over and he goes, that's a tricolor dango. And first of all, I didn't really understand what he was saying. So we were like, what the fuck? And then he Googled it, and it's a tricolor dango. So I had to make it on purpose. So I bought the yarn, finally started making it. Well, first crochet canon moment for me is that I was making this, and you can kind of see how where I make it larger, the increases. So they have these bigger holes here. So you see this, like, these stitches coming out like this. Well, I was increasing on the wrong stitch. So when I first finished the pink part, it was like this. So this side was leaning this way. The back was fine, but yeah, so that was bad. So I had to redo the entirety of the pink. And then I was doing this by number of rows to make it completely even. And then I was just working on it, and I got this far, and I put it on to try it on, and I hate how the pink looks. Because this is the start of the sleeve. So let me just, oh God. I did this like 3 days ago, and I haven't touched it because I'm so mad. Right? Yeah, that does not look great. So I have to undo the green and all of the white. I'm going to extend the pink down probably to here, and so that it goes into the sleeves. And then I'm just gonna have a small white strip and then continue the green. So I have to undo all of this work. because it's not sitting right now. 2 crochet canon moments in one sweater. Hello, this is my emotional support squishmallow because we're talking about Iron Kissed by Patricia Briggs. This is Mercy Thompson, book 3. Yes, I'm already in book 3. I already finished it. Hello, I am editing while waiting out traffic at work, so I know this looks very voidish behind me, but I'm trying not to get any work stuff in the background. I did want to do a verbal trigger and content warning for the discussion of this book. This book has a character go through a rape, and I discuss all of that in this section. So I did write a trigger warning on the screen when I was editing, but I felt like that wasn't enough, so here is your content warning for that. I got it as audiobook and ebook from my library. One thing I like about longer series is that the longer you get into the deeper you get into the series, they're always like almost readily available at any given moment from the library. So that's how I tend to breeze through a lot of like longer series like that. One thing I will say off the top is that I did know this in some fashion, but I knew that at some point in the series, Mercedes gets raped. And I got about 70% into the book, and I started listening to it on my commute home the other night. Was it last night? It was last night. And it started to happen, and I was like, oh no. Oh no, I can't listen to this, because the audiobook author is very good, and there are elements to it where I was just like, can't listen to it. So I did other stuff, listened to other YouTube videos on the way home. Then I came home and I finished the rest of them in ebook, because that was a lot easier for me to process. So book 1 was mainly like a werewolf book. Book 2 was all about vampires. Book 3, we're dealing a lot with the Fae. And Mercedes does have a mentor who set her up with the garage, taught her how to be a mechanic, set her up with her garage. And he asks her for help sniffing out some murder scenes on the Fae reservation. Mercedes, starts to dig in deeper, as always happens in these urban fantasy series, digs in deeper than she really should, and gets into a lot more trouble than she should. Let's see what else. Oh, if you've listened to me talk about these books, you listen to me complain about all the fucking dudes and the romance and whatever in this. Sorted. Handled. Oh, Mercedes, emotional maturity in this one, we really follow her along the path, and the way Samuel is handled, the way her fear of being with Adam is handled, good. Now, the Adam thing gets complicated because of the rape Mercedes goes through. I don't think I have read an urban fantasy series so far that has had a main female character experience rape. So a lot of authors may back up a little bit and it happens off page or off screen, or they were sexually assaulted or raped in their past or something like that. Wish this came with massive triggers, because I cannot imagine how absolutely triggering it must have been when those scenes started. Cannot imagine anyone going into this without knowing overall, like I said, 3.5 because I have been giving this like 3 to 4 stars, so that's not a bad rating. I felt very, very complicated about the way it all fell out. What a way to really like just kick your reader in the teeth a little bit. And now like I do, like the books have been giving me more of an attachment to the characters as they go on, but this one really gave me a lot more of an attachment to certain characters. So I really appreciated it, and it tends to be like book 3 or 4 in a long-running urban fantasy series is really where the hook is, and I think that is bearing out here. For me, Dresden Files, I think you had to get past the first 3 books, and that, you know, book 4, I was done. Kate Daniels' book 3 is what really, really hooked me, like truly got me. And now here we are, book 3, and I think this has got me. I'm just so glad that the fucking romance has been sorted. It's like, it's been sorted. I'm so happy for that. Like, and I think that's a big part of this too. That was Iron Kissed. Yes, this cover is absolutely like, look, it was the late 2000s, okay? And I don't ask me about this cover. It's literally, I have remembered this cover since the first time I saw it back in the late 2000s. Like, it lives in infamy. I cannot wait to try to find a mass market for it though. I need to own it. Okay, that is what I've read. That's about all I've got for now. Today is the 26th, so I don't know how much more I'm gonna get. So, yeah, we'll see. Up the vlog, and I guess making this monthly wrap up. So everything that I've read in February would have seen in my last reading vlog and this one. I have talked about everything at length, so I'm just going to do a quick little succinct wrap up here. Oh my god, this section of the floorboards always creak. It drives me nuts. Okay, so in February I read, it would be helpful if I had my spreadsheet up, huh? Okay, this is like the blown out view on my iPad of my spreadsheet for the month. This is by Allie, who used to go by Hardback Hoarder. I will link to the spreadsheet. I pay $5 for her spreadsheet every year. Worth it. Has so much data. So this month I read 15 things. 2 nonfiction, the rest were fiction. 8 were in a series. I listened to 45.5 hours of audio. I read 1,703 pages, and that does not, I don't put like pages and audio for the same book, so those are just the pages read. My ratings were all over the place. I had 1 1-star, 1 2-star, 3 3-stars, 2 3.5, 5 4-stars, and 3 5-star books. So that is nice for an average rating of 3.6 stars. That's all I'm gonna do for stats. Like I said, I have already talked about all of these in some fashion, so we're just gonna mainline these, speed through them. The first thing I read was Strange Houses. I gave that 1 star. Yeah, I ended up ranting about that and dropped my rating to 1 star after I ranted about it. Then I read A Questionable Client by Ilona Andrews. I love Ilona Andrews. This is a short story in the Kate Daniels universe, 5 stars. I read Girl on Girl by Sophie Gilbert. That was a nonfiction about how shitty the 90s and 2000s media was for women. I gave it 3 stars. I think it had a good thesis. It dragged on a bit, could have gone more in depth in certain parts. Then I read Enola Holmes and the Clanging Coffin. I had that as an ARC advanced reader copy, and I gave that 4 stars. Enola Holmes is a series where Enola is Sherlock's little sister, and in this one, Moriarty is introduced, and I thought it was very well done. Then next, I read The Dallergut Dream Department Store. I gave that 3 stars. I think it was decent. It didn't really engage me. Like, it was a little boring at times, so. Then I read The Rain Seekers by Matthew Kressel. This one I gave 4 stars. This was also an ARC that I read. It is a sci-fi leaning a little more literary, where we follow a group of characters as they are on Mars, going out on an expedition to experience the first rainfall on Mars since it was colonized. And then our main character is a former influencer who is getting stories of everybody who is on this journey. Very kind of like Canterbury Tales. Then I read Beast Business by Ilona Andrews. This is a collection of short stories in the world of the Hidden Legacy series. Loved it, 5 stars. I read The Crimson Corsair and the Lost Treasure of Count Dooku by Landry Q. Walker. This was a Star Wars book. Very short book, very silly. I gave it 3 stars, but honestly, this is totally for like 12-year-old kids. Lots of fun. I read Bloodbound by Patricia Biggs, one of the only physical books that I have. This is book 2 in the Mercy Thompson series. I gave it 4 stars. I liked a lot of what it did in terms of something Mercy has to do and the toll that it's taking on her. Then I read Lullaby of the Dawn, Volume 1 by Ichika Yuno. This is a gay boys love manga about a character who is like the protector of this village. Every night he fights off sea demons and the man who grows up to love him in their story. Then I read She, Wolf, and Cub by Lilith Saintcrow. This I gave, I think, 2 stars. Yeah, I gave 2 stars. This is like a cyberpunk western. The writing just didn't do it for me. Then I read A Fatal Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum by Emma Southon. This is a nonfiction about murder in Rome, ancient Rome. Then I read My Beloveds, The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, Volume 6. I love these 2. I love this series. 5 stars. It'd be hard for me to rate that anything less than 5 stars. I read Hunchback by Sao Ichikawa. I gave it 3 stars. I still don't know how I feel about it. It was interesting. You saw my thoughts on it. And then finally, I finished out with Iron Kissed by Patricia Biggs. This is book 3 in the Mercy Thompson series. It would have been the last book I talked about. 3.5 stars. So that is everything I read in February. Today is February 28th. Did today start This World Is Not Yours by Kemi Ashingiwa. This is for my r/fantasy POC book written by a person of color, hard mode horror. So that is going to fill out that square for r/fantasy. Had to get my oil changed today, so got through half of the book. It reads very quickly. It is not really what I thought it was, but I will talk about this more in whatever next reading wrap-up vlog, whatever I got going on. Like I said, I did get a tattoo, so here it is in all its glory. Oh, like it's upside down, you can't really get it, but yeah. So 2 tattoos in February, and I'm gonna get another one next month. That is everything I read in February. Hope you enjoyed the vlog. Hope you enjoyed all my thoughts as they came. That's it. That is my February. I hope your February went well. Let me know what the best thing you read this month was. Did you have any 1-star books like I did? As always, thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye.